I've always been fond of David Griffin. Always been fond of him. He's a good man. And I like him, genuinely. I truly do. And he knows his basketball. He knows what the hell he's doing. But I got to tell you, last night was one of his more impressive moments. To draft Zion Williamson, to stand before the media and say he is not a savior. He is going to be a part of what we're doing here. The kid hasn't even turned 19 yet. To say this is Drew Holiday's team, who, by the way, is an all-world defender and an all-star caliber player. To say this is his team, ladies and gentlemen, that means something. You got Lonzo Ball there now. You got Brandon Ingram there now. Zion's your guy. Drew Holiday's there. Julius Randle is still there for the moment. And they're trying to build something. They've accumulated picks because that's what David Griffin has been doing. But to sit up there and to say he's not a savior, Zion is not a savior, and to remind us that there's a veteran on here who has shown up in the postseason in the past in Drew Holiday, to allude to the players that you acquired in Ball, Ingram, and Josh Hart, to just draft Nickeil Alexander-Walker with the 17th pick, Silver with the 35th pick, to have protected first-round picks in 2020, 2021, a first-round swap with the Lakers in 2023, an unprotected first-round pick from the Lakers in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, David Griffin has done a hell of a job. And oh, by the way, how about re-signing or making sure that Alvin Gentry returned as the coach of the Pelicans? Let me tell you something about Alvin Gentry. Record doesn't necessarily speak to it. Clippers, Detroit Pistons, Phoenix Suns, now New Orleans Pelicans. He was a championship coach as an assistant with Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors before he got the New Orleans job. Let me be very, very clear to you about something you need to understand about Alvin Gentry. The man can coach.
Guess what they're right on the cusp of when you include their trade last week with Allen Crabbe? 2 max slots. They got a great shot at Kevin Durant.
I think his time is up with Golden State, in my opinion.
The Nets are gaining confidence that they can pull this off.
They've already got the role players in place to be competitive.
But I think the Nets are the front runners.
How come?
Just because. I mean, sources tell me that the Nets are the front
runners for your former teammate, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
This is being brought to you by New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Now with 4 levels of defense against gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Tonight, in Los Angeles, California, there will be the award ceremony, their banquet. What do they even call it now, John? What do they even call it now? I wonder. If I don't sound too excited, forgive me. Here is the situation. I'm a fan of Michelle Roberts, the executive director for the NBA Players Association. I am a fan of Chris Paul, the president of the Players Association. I am a fan of Adam Silver, the commissioner for the NBA, along with the various people who work under them. I am no fan of this, I choose to call it a banquet, where the league MVP, most improved player, rookie of the year, all of these, defensive player of the year, all these awards are handed out. Players and their families attend, and, you know, it's televised on TNT. I believe Shaq will be one of the people hosting it tonight, and, you know, that's my brother. I love the NBA. I love most things that they do. I detest this. For one reason and one reason only. I got a real problem with these awards being held and us being left to wonder who's won these awards until they have a banquet. And here's why. If you are the league MVP, who was there supporting you all year, John? You talk about 41 nights a year, fans show up to a home arena to cheer you on and inspire you. And then when you achieve something, albeit an individual award, but still nevertheless great, there's something to be said about hoisting that trophy in front of those hometown fans. One of the most special moments we've ever seen was when Derrick Rose won league MVP honors and he hosted that trophy above his head at the United Center. It's one of the most special moments we've seen. Kevin Durant, that speech that he gave, honoring his mother, the wonderful Mama Durant, and then hoisting that trophy at OKC. It matters. It really, really matters. And to sit up there and to rob fans of that moment so y'all could sit amongst each other and celebrate yourselves, I think it's rude. I do. Now, to me, there's nothing wrong with knowing who won the award, announcing it, and if those teams are playing in the postseason, honoring them, and then when you have this banquet after the season is over, acknowledge them again. Figure out some innovative way to honor them again for the same award. But to just sit there and to rob the fans of that experience, celebrating their athlete. No disrespect to the contemporaries and their family members that's going to be in the audience tonight. But they weren't the 20,000 people, the 18 to 20,000 people showing up on a night in, night out basis for 41 nights a year, cheering you on and helping to inspire you to be all you can be. That wasn't them. If I'm James Harden, do I enjoy walking up on stage at a banquet with my mama in attendance there and it's televised nationally? Or guess what? Do I enjoy stepping to midcourt before a playoff game and hoisting that trophy in front of 20,000 fans at the Toyota Center? Which one is it? Steph Curry hoisting that trophy meant something. I was there when Allen Iverson won the championship. I covered Allen Iverson. And I got to tell you something. Back then, it was the Wachovia Center. And when Allen Iverson went to midcourt and accepted that trophy for league MVP, and Commissioner Stern showed up to hand it to him, I got to tell you, that noise, those fans in Philadelphia, it was electric. It was something special. And to just rob folks of that so you could televise it on TNT, there's just something about it that doesn't vibe with me. I'm not saying that the event shouldn't happen. I'm saying that we shouldn't find out whether the Greek Freak, who's going to win it tonight, League MVP award over James Harden, even though I think James Harden deserved it. But we shouldn't be wondering who's going to get the damn award and find out tonight now that the season's over and a champion has been crowned. We should find out where we always find out. By the semifinals or the playoffs. That's what we should find out. Just thinks. It really, really does. It really bothers me. 888-SAY-ESPN. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Let's go to Curtis. Go ahead.
Hey, Stephen. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm a long-time Knicks fan. So, I just want to say, I hear everybody talk about the blank canvases and, where KD should go or, Kyrie and stuff like that. From me seeing KD play, wouldn't you think, from him going to the Warriors, he won the titles, he got that championship out the way. His best stop for him would be New York versus the Nets. For the simple fact the Nets, and I'm sorry, not the Nets, the Brooklyn, let's hear the Nets, they're already, sort of built up a little bit, you know. So he has that blank canvas with New York to solidify as his own home team, you know, to try to win a championship on his own from leaving Golden State. Why does everyone seem to think, you know, it would be better off for him to stay and max out that money and play with his future, as you just stated a little while ago, versus just go ahead and go and
because Golden State is the one team that has the power to offer him 5 years and $221 million. Anybody else who wants him, it's going to cost him close to $50 million. It's going to cost him that because league rules doesn't allow him to sign for the same max dollars with another team that he goes to than he can get from staying with his team, which is the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, now couldn't he? Yeah, I mean, he don't have to sign with them.
No, he doesn't. That's why he's a free agent. He doesn't. Right. But if he does elect to sign somewhere else, he won't be able to get $50 million plus more than he would have gotten had he stayed in Golden State.
But do you think that's what he's after? You think
I don't know.
After?
I don't know. We're about to find out, sir. That's what we're waiting for. That's what we're all speculating about.
Now with Kyrie.
Hurry up. Go ahead.
Do you see him going to the Nets when they already have, you know what I'm saying, a core already established? You know, why
they don't already have a core established. They went 42-40. They squeezed into the playoffs as a 16. They got a nice young nucleus, but they're devoid of a superstar. So they don't have that core.
They just need that superstar to put them over the hump.
I don't know if he'll put them over the hump. But you certainly want a superstar for box office purposes because the way that arena was packed come playoff time against the Philadelphia 76ers, they weren't packed like that during the regular season. And those 41 nights a year that you're playing in an arena, people pay attention to that. And it matters. Gotta go. Appreciate the call. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Back with your calls and more in a minute to close out the show. By the way, if you missed any of the show today, go check it out on demand in the Stephen A. Smith podcast, brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, 2% at grocery stores, and 1% on all other purchases. Hey, what's in your wallet?